Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We are with Astrology Victoria. My name is Dulcie, and I'm with my co-host,
Tatiana, as usual, bringing you some amazing astrology. And today we're going to have for you the second week of February astrology. So you can mark in your calendar if there's anything important, any date that is a highlight for you, where you can make choices for yourself looking at your own chart. So Dulcie, what's going on?
So all of these aspects, they were actually present during the first week of February. So take a look at our week 1 of February video, and you'll be able to see some of our discussion about that. And we'll go into those aspects a little bit more deeper today. And we'll have just kind of a little bit of a newer perspective on them as well. So yeah, check out the first week of February if you haven't already, and we'll get into the aspects of this week. All right, so here we go. So this week in astrology, we have starting from Monday, February 7th to Sunday, February 13th. So once again, we're going to be kind of talking about not the particular exact dates that these occur on, but the general energy that we're going to be feeling throughout the whole week. And we're using a 3-degree orb. So once these planets come within a 3-degree orb of each other, we'll start to be feeling them in our day-to-day lives and in the collective.
Yeah, remember that the energy just and we are already, I mean, here in Canada, we're already feeling a lot of this buildup with things that are happening, and you start seeing the news and I'm like, oh my gosh, this buildup of energy is already transpiring. It's not like, oh, on this exact date this happens. It's more like the energy builds and the themes unfold and unfold, and we're seeing more of these and these, and we will talk a little bit about that. But yeah, let's see this second week of February. So
yeah, so starting we have Mercury conjunct Pluto, and so this is from January 26th to February 14th. So this has been happening all last week, and it goes on right until the end of this week. And it was exact on January 28th. So any ideas about Mercury conjunct Pluto, Tatiana?
Oh, well, we know that when Mercury conjuncts Pluto, there is a lot of diving deep into the shadow of the Capricornian themes of control, themes of authority, themes in the government, themes of what we do with structures that are solid. Like Capricorn is a Saturn ruled sign, so we know that anything that is, it's on those themes of authority is being revealed. Pluto is like the volcano that's exploding, while Mercury is the messenger, is reaching down to see all of that and go, oh my God, let's report back to the surface. Mercury is going with Pluto. They're having a little conversation. So it can be illuminating a lot of coarse mental activity, raw speech. There could be a lot of, it's not like Mars per se, but like not volatile speech, but when you get raw, you get dirty. It's dirty talk. How about some dirty talk? It could mean anything. So it could be the dirty talk around governmental structures, the dirty things or dirty deeds of, so the mind is going to go inquire, because Mercury is very curious, will go inquire in the depth. So at a personal level, what are you inquiring in yourself, that it's wanting to transform something around around your goals, around what no longer works, around what structures have been like this that don't work for you. And that is also pushing you into almost a new direction. This particular conjunction is trining the North Node. So I don't know if you can see there, the North Node being in Taurus is having an exact trine to that Pluto. So this is an evolutionary push, you know, of the earth energy. So this transformation of the earth, literal volcano explosions, I mean, that's more of a Uranian thing, but anything that is transforming within the psyche, within your thought processes around what you own, what you have, you know, and Capricorn, because it's about building, it's about future goals, is how we get tangibly to a goal, right? And it rules businesses, it rules tall buildings. So all of these structures are being put into question, and the seeking of truth, you know, it's coming up with Mercury and Pluto. There's kind of like a, yeah, it's an inquiry, a mental inquiry. This is how I get it. Might see a lot of exposure of some nasty stuff.
Yeah, I thought it was funny that you mentioned dirty talk, because one of the key points that I wrote was dirty or offensive humor. So make sure to know your audience, make sure that they can handle what you're going to be saying during this time. Yeah, with Mercury Pluto, we're using our mind to dig down into the depths. And so this can be within ourselves. We're kind of learning to get out of our own way and recognize what mental structures are not working for us. Recognizing negative self-talk and pushing it to the side and finding kinder ways to speak to ourselves and to others. And questioning authority. So Tatiana alluded to this. We're using our mind to really recognize what we don't agree with, what we feel is being forced upon us, and potentially preparing to fight back. We're recording this a little bit ahead of time, so we won't know the resolution of this event. But Tatiana was talking to me about the truckers convoy that is happening currently for us, and this is we believe a representation of the Saturn-Uranus square. So, you know, Saturn, the structures that be, the government systems, and Uranus, the desire to break free and to resist. So right now in Canada, there's a convoy of trucks headed from BC to Ottawa to protest what started out as vaccine mandates and has become, you know, a symbol of freedom, essentially. So do you want to say anything about that, Tatiana?
Well, yes, just to put people into what the information of what's happening. And that's why this energy is not like on one date. We know that the square to Saturn Uranus is been going like strong and weaker and strong and weaker. And it's this build-up energy to at some point, a breaking point. That's exactly what happens where there's too much tension of two planets kind of like, wanting their own agenda. Eventually there's a breakage and things just, and it's interesting because there's this massive convoy, of truckers and people traveling from the United States in Canada. Like there's like, they're expecting about 1 million people to arrive in Ottawa. I don't know how that's going to play out, but they're all like protesting and it's about freedom. You can see it's not like fake news. It's everywhere. You can find like Convoy Canada, freedom, and people are like, freedom. They're just wanting freedom back. So it started with this whole vaccine things, and here, you know, we don't like to get political. It's not about our views. It's about what's happening. We're just describing. It started like that. Truckers not being allowed to cross the border from the United States if they were not vaccinated. So they started like a strike, let's say, and people joining them, convoys of cars and trucks. And then what happens? It disturbs the supply chain. And we've been talking about also this North Node entering into Taurus and Scorpio, which is the axis of money and resources. And we're starting to see again, oh, well, if truckers are stopped, then what do we have? Then we have like no food, and, or, you know, the supply chain is going to be majorly affected. And there's this meme that was posted of somebody saying, like, if you have food on your table, it's thanks to this guy, and there's a truck, you know, and below it says, if you're struggling to feed your family, it's because of this guy. And then they show a picture of Trudeau, very Saturnianly, like this, you know. And it's like, wow, this is an archetypal representation of this times where people are now just, it's even more about survival. It's not even anymore about health or the vaccines. It's like, it's our food, it's our survival that's being questioned. It's our rights. So this is going down somehow in a very interesting way, and we'll see, you know, we shall see. And as we always say here, we always have the choice. Nothing is dictated. We're the ones who make the choices. So what do we do with this energy is up to us. And so this is part of the whole picture of what's going on, the tension in the sky, and at the same time, this evolutionary push wanting to evolve this into something different, into a different kind of system, into a different kind of structure. This is why Saturn, it's interesting to see Saturn, it's in its own home in Aquarius, but it's also a Uranus ruled sign, Aquarius, you know, and wanting to create these structures in a new way for a new world with new somethings. And for that, the Capricorn is what's needing to, you know, these structures that have been in place for ever, right? Not ever, for a long time. It's time to go. And Pluto, it's very clear about that, you know.
Yeah, Pluto's playing a significant role. We have Mercury hanging out with Pluto, and then both Venus and Mars will be with Pluto as well. So this isn't the only expression of this that we'll be seeing, and this isn't just the end of it as well. It's a long drawn out experience that we'll be having, especially with the tango between Saturn and Uranus, I think throughout the entire year.
Yeah, we'll see a lot of poop coming out to the surface for sure. So,
exactly, well said.
Released. So, and that's personal poop or generic poop. Anyway, let's move on to the next.
On that note, let's go to our next slide. So we have Venus trine Uranus, and this started January 18th and ends February 10th. So that's essentially all of this week, almost. So Monday to Thursday. So a good portion of this week.
And let's just remember that Venus is not alone. Venus is coming with Mars for the ride. So it's not just Venus on its own, it's Venus Mars. And this little pair is traveling together for a while. And it's interesting to see how Venus it's in Capricorn. We've discussed it already enough. Is this like the commitment is what you love, is the commitment to yourself. It's about money. It's about the structures of money. It's about value. It's about how you value yourself, or what you value, or what is essential for you, what you want to achieve. Like, all of those are possibilities for this Venus, because it's a very serious Venus, like we say. And it's almost like it's a little bit of this energy. It's like an ambitious energy, because Venus is what I want, what I desire. And then Mars conjunct is, I'm gonna go get it. You know, it's like I magnetize what I want. I see the vision. I want this, and I have the tools, Mars, and the will to actually go and get it. And because it's Capricorn, it's a long-term commitment. It doesn't feel like, well, it's just gonna be for the time being. It's like, that's why it's so important to define at this moment for yourself, really, what is important for you and what do you want to create that will last in the next, at least, how long, like let's say a decade, or what are those seeds, that are wanting to, what are you planting now in your life that is going to have a completely different tone from what it had before? Is that like the new world that you're creating for yourself has a little bit of root in that kind of balance of Venus Mars, where you're clear on what you want, what you love, what you value, and you go get it. And there's Mars in Capricorn is really happy. It's like it likes it there. And it has a lot of energy in Capricorn. It likes Capricorn. So it will go for what it wants. It's like how the sky's the limit. It's like, where's that limit? And there is this endurance as well, right? Because with this kind of energy, there's this, it's clear, it's concise, get things in order, let's plan. It's that energy for planning. It's not the dreamy Piscean energy. This is the planning stage where you actually say, well, we need this much for this, the budget's here, this is not working, this is good, blah blah blah. And we've talked about this whole the first week of February being a good week to dream and plan, and this is the week to like do the action portions and the timelines and get to do it. This is where you do the phone calls. Like, all these planets are direct, so you're no longer like thinking about it or rethinking. It's like, okay, this is where you do the phone calls, where you go and get the permits, where you go and whatever that means, where you go and ask for the new job, where you write your resignation letter, where you have where you meet the person or that lover or that new lover. This is kind of that. And the last thing I'll say before letting Dulcie speak her mind is that Uranus. So you see, this is just Venus, Mars in that Capricorn. And then Uranus trining is like shaking the energy. Like, are you daring to be different, daring to find more freedom, daring to find a situation that's actually different? Maybe even some person or lover or a person comes into your life that's completely unexpected, and it makes you go in a complete different direction that you were thinking of before, and you had everything planned. So there could be a lot of that unexpected energy, and it's not necessarily uncomfortable. Even though Uranus puts a lot of electricity, it can be very exciting, novel, quirky. There could be some, for artists, this is a great time to maybe create that thing that you've always wanted to create that's different from everything and you had not dared to put it out there. So it's like a be yourself kind of thing, or do what you love and try it out and see what happens kind of energy, because Uranus is wanting to break us free. And with that trine is, what do you stand for? That there's something different. You might find some gold in that little nudge that pushes you to go for that thing that represents more of you or your values, and not what the values of society or your boss or your teacher or your government are. What are your values? And shake those off. Yay. Okay, done. What do you think?
Yeah, so this is definitely a good time to be getting things done, to be productive. We'll have the energy to engage in those creative activities and projects that we've been wanting to get started with. We have a lot of planets in earth signs. We have Mars, Venus, Mercury, and Pluto all in Capricorn, and then we have the moon and Uranus in Taurus. So this is a lot of energy being put towards getting tangible results. So with the Venus and Uranus, I can definitely see this as new and exciting relationships and friendships or romantic relationships. Within your own relationships that already exist, we might have a new sense of freedom or individuality, and recognizing that the other partner might need more freedom as well, and allowing them to kind of be themselves and express their individuality. With Mars and Venus together trining Uranus, it just is, yeah, there's a balance between that yin and yang energy. So it's not just receptive, but it's also expressive. So we're able to kind of receive the goods and give out the goods, and interpret that however you would like. Yeah, so I think that's all I wanted to say about that. We do have a slide specifically for Mars trine Uranus, but we've already discussed that a little bit. In terms of starting new relationships, that you might meet somebody who is different than yourself in some way, different ethnicity, different languages, different even political beliefs, and because Mars and Venus are together, you'll find a sense of camaraderie with them, regardless of your differences.
Sometimes it's interesting because with Uranus, maybe what comes into your life might not be the most long-lasting thing. It may be just a catalyst for something to change in you, or it could be also, because it's an earth signs, it could be a change that then slowly builds, because Capricorn has that a little bit of a more long-term view. So whatever you're putting together now, and the people that are coming into your life, almost like a little bit of soul tribe that you might be pulling into your life, might start to kind of crystallize. And you start seeing that maybe people that were there before also leave, because with Uranus alters, and because it's altering the planet of relationship, Venus, it may alter relationships, or it may also elevate relationships to another level. This is also something that could happen. If something's really not resonating on a same level of resonance, either it levels up and suddenly there's this jumps, and then relationships find new ways of expressing themselves. So for instance, if you're in a long marriage and something's blocking it, and there needs to be some kind of push, what could happen if it's like something happens that renews that energy, or something happens that it just breaks it free. Either way, it frees something up to get to new levels in relationship. And for people who have not had relationships for a long time, what could happen is suddenly this person appears in your life that seems to propel you forward. Again, the North Node is very active with the Capricorn energy. So everything happening in the Capricorn house of your chart, so go and look at your chart to see where your Capricorn house is, because everything happening in that area, it's getting a new solid foundation. It's getting a new push, a new shakeup. So things can actually change from what they were before, and they're not going back. As Pluto finishes its passing through Capricorn, well, that's just going to be it. And whatever you created gets the new, like, it's like the basic, when you put the foundations of a building, this is kind of that energy. It's the energy of the new foundations. And then from there on, it will build up. So make sure your foundations are clear. And that's why Pluto Mercury it's also very active, kind of, getting whatever's on that land. If there was sewage and dirt and stuff, don't build on top of the poop. Get the poop out, get that cleaned up. Once it's clean, you put the new foundations, and then you can build from there. This is the energy of this time. So question yourself in that area of life, what are the new foundations that are required, and make sure the poop really is out, no matter how painful or raw it can seem to see it, you know. Sometimes it's hard to see the shadow, you know.
That could be our title. Don't build on poop.
Don't build on poop, you know. It will stink. If you build on poop, then your next cycle will stink all the way. You have
Do not recommend.
This beautiful new building. It's like, why is this so stinky? You know, that's what happens if we build on poop. So anyway, so again, this week, very important for planning. Very important.
All right, so next we have Mars sextile Jupiter. Oh, let me just delete these little circles here. Mars sextile Jupiter, here we go. And that is from January 30th to February 10th. So that is from Monday to Thursday as well of this week. It was exact on February 4th. And yeah, what do you have to say about that, Tatiana? I feel like this
we covered extensively the Mars Venus togetherness, and what happens when you have Piscean energy and Jupiter is that influx of energy, especially if you tune into yourself, that will just expand the capacity to dream, to actualize this from a place of compassion, from a place of true alignment with divine will. Because Pisces is kind of this, you know, Pisces is always connected to what is the ocean of everything. And with Jupiter there can be big expansion. You know, it's a good time maybe to meet a soulmate. You know, if you're considering dating somebody, this is a good time to maybe, you know, go out there and see what happens. You might meet a soulmate or somebody that's very significant in your life that will expand the sense of well-being and passion and drive, you know, that Mars and Venus together form. And the sextile to Jupiter, it's bringing an expansive sense of you know, in relationship. It could bring also, yeah, like I say, like this is that little time where maybe you get lucky and you're just sitting somewhere and boom, there it is, you know. There's a person, you just notice them, and then you know what, it's those like love at first sight kind of things, and you're like, wow, what happened? It's like, wow, how lucky, right? Because Jupiter brings in luck. And again, depending on what area of your chart this is, maybe for some people it's relationship, maybe for some people it's money that just shows up, you know, Venus, Jupiter, you know, there could be like some kind of windfall, like maybe there could be some opportunity, and this opportunity comes from something that's beyond you, you know. It's the Piscean thing. So that's a little bit more mundane, like opportunities come, but in an inner sense, it's more an inner sensation that something's aligning with your soul more than an ego desire. Is something that you're building, but that comes from the realm of Pisces. Mm-hmm. And it's the hunch. I feel that Jupiter also gives you this like that optimism. It makes it big and beautiful and optimistic. So there is optimism. So while you ride this energy of optimism, it's really good to go ahead and start doing those steps, because you're going to have hope. I always have Jupiter as a hopeful planet. I don't know. I feel that the energy of Jupiter always brings silver lining, hope. So it's that kind of like, hey, everything's cool, you know, all is well, right? So mm-hmm. And with and it could be very beautiful to make art, music, dance. You know what, partner dancing is great for that. I see Mars Venus together, and it's like maybe if you're with your partner, dance together, you know, because it gets all this flowy energy, and or have some kind of together practice if you are with somebody, some kind of thing that you do together that is fun, and maybe or meditate together, or do tantra together, or dance together. I mean, I'm very biased in saying these comments. This comes through my personal filter of what I see very valuable in relationship at this time, which is those kinds of things of the balance of feminine, masculine within yourself or with another, by doing things like partner dancing, where you lead and follow, and we have to have these nonverbal conversations, which is very Piscean. It's in the senses. It's more in the I don't know, I cannot put words to it kind of thing, but something is magical and happening, So if you want to give it a push, it's a sextile. So it's not something that's necessarily like in your face. It's something that you kind of like put a little like, hey, if I did this, I'll get a push of that. So yeah, go and take, maybe try a dance class. You might have never tried a dance class before. Enroll in a little like partner dance class. You might meet the love of your life. Who knows, right, Dulcie? This could be it.
Definitely. Yeah. With Jupiter, I do agree with you that of course there's that feeling of hope and optimism and positive feelings, and Jupiter is always, even when it's poorly placed, or depending on how you'd like to perceive poorly placed, but from a Hellenistic perspective, if it's uncomfortable in Capricorn or something like that, it's not, it's still trying to do good. Like it's still trying to give its best. Here in Pisces, it's free to do whatever it wants to do. And what it wants to do is to grow and expand and give goodness to whoever it can. I had Jupiter directly over the moon in my chart. And for a period of time, I just kept finding 4-leaf clovers. I think I found like 6 or 7 of them within, a short period of time. So I associate Jupiter with that. What's that?
That's because the fairies left them there for you.
So sweet. I love those fairies.
I know, right?
So with Jupiter, Mars, and of course, including Venus in there, I can see professional opportunities coming up. Having that assistance from Jupiter, even during difficult times like Mars times of separation, or, if someone's going through a divorce or a loss or a surgery, Jupiter is going to be there to give assistance, to be a benevolent force in those difficult times. And so it will be a little bit easier to see the silver lining, or to see any positive side of a difficult situation. We'll be able to get a lot done during this time. Mars and Jupiter are working together to kind of give you that boost of energy and boost of physical strength and health.
Like an astrological Red Bull.
I love that.
That's what it is. Jupiter Mars is like an astrological Red Bull.
Yeah.
And then you have.
Sorry, continue. Keep talking as I get this video, because I had a video.
Oh, fine. She's finding a video that illustrates this. So yes, Mars Jupiter is literally like, I imagine getting like an astrological Red Bull, because when you're like tired or like, and when the energy is more directed inward, like in retrograde energy, it's more like it's kind of asleep. Those planets have not so much, but all the planets are direct now. So when you get that boost and you drink that astrological Red Bull, it's just gonna go like propulsion, and then suddenly you're gonna get so much done. Like you had planned something again, and the thing is, take that boost not to kind of waste the energy, because that's the thing. These are energies that are available there, but that you have to use them. So if you know that you have already set a plan to do this, that, don't go and procrastinate, and because you might have a lot of energy, but you might be like, it's like, actually say, yes, I'm going to do this. And guess what? That's when you take your booster, well, the energy booster, your booster of energy, and there you go. You're going to be like a squirrel on caffeine, and they're going to be able to get a lot done, and a lot of concrete things done, like no longer, this is not mental energy. This is just raw energy to go and get things accomplished. So yeah, What's the video?
So here I'm mixing Jupiter, you know, benevolence and kindness, and expansion, making something bigger and better, mixed with Mars, action and doing something, and even with Venus, like something creative. So this video is called Teacher Surprises Young Boy with a New Drum Set. So here we go. We see a boy kind of banging on a bucket, and he's a drummer, and we'll see what happens. Oh, we need some sound.
Everybody wanted to help get me some new drums. And so I have a surprise for you. Come here. Oh, oh my God. Oh my God. Thank you. Oh.
Oh my, that couldn't have been more perfect as an example of that energy of Venus, Mars conjunct, square, sextiling the Jupiter opportunity of something coming in, and then you being able to actualize the next level of your of what you love to do. Because this is just a summary. Like, thank you, Dulcie. That was perfect. So people, this is exactly it. What do you love to do? What have you been dreaming of? What are those things? And now when the opportunities come, learn to recognize them. Don't let people tell you what they want for you. This is your time to say what is, and go for it, because you will have those opportunities show up. And go on that drum and expand what it is that you're doing that will propel you to the next level. I think this week is going to be could be very big in that. And again, it depends on your chart. Not everybody gets activated in the same way at the same time. If you're not, if you're kind of new to astrology, like understanding that is very important. That depending on what planets you have, especially if you have Capricorn planets or Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn planets, this might be applying to you big time, this energy. Because this is trine energy, the earth, anybody born on either in Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn will be feeling this, and even the water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, may get a little bit of this, but mostly the earth signs are gonna be getting a boost of something. Guess what? That's me.
Yeah, I think the opportunities are abundant this week, regardless of where your planets are. I'm sure people do.
Oh.
I mean, yes, definitely the earth signs will be experiencing this significantly. But yes, just in general, I think the opportunities are fairly abundant. And if we do have if we do take that action, I think we'll experience some benefits from those.
I feel that focusing on positive thoughts is going to be very important, especially because we're going to have the Pluto Mercury, which can be very transformative, and focusing on positive thoughts instead of all the negative and anger and whatever could yield immense transformational possibilities for you. Like focusing on, when you do, positive reinforcement and affirmations, this is a way to use also the energy available to you, staying positive instead of thinking all that could go wrong. Because Capricorn is also a sign that is so realistic that sometimes it could be like, well, this is not possible, well, that is possible, that's and the Jupiter kind of brings that nothing's impossible kind of vibe. So if you fall into the no, this is the time to not say no, but say like, why not? That would be what I would like to leave you with, is like, anything that comes your way now, say, why not? And see what happens.
Mhm.
No matter how crazy Uranus. All right.
Use your judgment, of course.
But still cap, yeah, of course. But no.
But you'll be able to, of course, with all those planets at Cap.
Oh yeah. What else?
So we have 3 slides left,
Ooh.
but they are a little bit redundant. So we'll go through a couple of them quickly. The next one is Mars trine Uranus. So we already kind of talked about that with the Venus trine Uranus. So Mars, Venus trine Uranus, but specifically Mars Uranus trine is between February 4th to February 12th. So that's all this week up until Saturday. And it's exact on February 8th at 11 degrees Capricorn. Mars is at 11 degrees Capricorn and Uranus is at 11 degrees Taurus for that exact trine. Do we want to say anything about that specifically? I think I wrote down a bit like a confidence boost. So I feel like our confidence is going to be significantly high this week. So a confidence boost and a good time to do something that you've been a little bit shy or timid to do. This will be the time to just be bold and do it.
So this is the image I'm getting. I get images. I get that there's a puzzle, like a big puzzle that you have like been reserving for a long time that you love and you have not known how to put it together. And somehow, when you start putting the puzzle together and you don't put it in order, that's like a Mars Uranus kind of thing, that you're doing things, but they're kind of erratic and you don't really understand the big picture because Uranus is so future oriented that you might not even see completely exactly what the picture looks like. But you know that if you keep putting the little pieces, and this earth energy is actually getting the piece out, putting it, and oh my gosh, a new little piece. Oh, it's coming together. And then you put a piece on the other side, and then a piece on the other side, and then it starts coming together. And by the end of this, eventually you're going to be able to see in the near future, oh, I see what all of these little different things were for. Because Mars and Uranus tends to be a little bit erratic action as well. It could be doing this and this and this. I feel it's very squirrely, it goes here.
Squirrels have shown up a lot in this episode.
I know, but because I feel that that's kind of that archetype, the Mars Uranus is a very squirrely energy. It goes here, it's nervous, and it's here, it's there, it's everywhere, it's fast. Because also fast. Speed, things are going to speed up. If Mars is already action oriented, well, Uranus gives it a lot of speed. So if you see things changing really fast right now and you having to take action on this very fast, just let it. It's and with Uranus, there's a thing. If you think too much, you might kind of like get anxious. If you go into the action and trust the process, provided it's guided from a place of knowing that it's okay, you'll end up having a completely different life or experience of life within very short period of time. And when you look back, you're like, what happened? How did I even make these changes? You won't even notice it. That's nature of Uranus. It's so fast that you don't even have time to think. If you stop to think, you might just like short circuit. So if you're feeling a deep, intense pull in your heart that something's really right for you, don't think about it. Just take the right steps, but don't overthink it. Otherwise you could like this is what I'm feeling.
Yeah, and Uranus, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, the puzzle, that's it.
Yes, Uranus brings in that individuality as well as Mars. Mars is all about kind of doing what I'm going to do. But Uranus brings in that uniqueness to
it's your personal puzzle
in action. Yeah. So I could see this as a great time to march to the beat of your own drum and just, this is who I am. This is what I want to do. And I'm just going to do it.
Well, it's also a rebellious energy in a certain sense, or a freedom fighter energy as well. And this aligns really well with the convoy that we were talking about. Mm-hmm. It's like, yes, let's march for freedom. It has that energy too. you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I'm really curious to see how that plays out.
We'll see. We'll keep you
From,
updated.
from of the past here. Perhaps by this video, we'll have already seen it.
Mhm.
Okay, so next is Jupiter sextile Uranus from February 4th to March 3rd. So that is all week until the beginning of March. And it goes exact on February 17th. So Jupiter will be at 11 degrees Pisces, sextile Uranus at 11 degrees Taurus. So thoughts on that, Tatiana?
Well, I think we've covered most of this because this little like combo of Uranus, Venus, Mars, and Jupiter are all talking to each other. So whether the sextile is going one way or the other way, it's a little conversation that they're all having, and we've covered the themes of this conversation already. These changes that are coming. Get your own personal puzzle of your life in order that is yours. Trust your instincts and the guidance you're getting from that Piscean realm of your soul. And what you can do about it align yourself with those visions. Align yourself with your vision, not somebody else's, with your vision. And that's it. I mean, these themes of this week are very prominent, and just let it show you the way, because the transpersonal planets are just doing it. So, and your personal planets like Mars and Venus are just you're just there to execute the will of that higher part of yourself. So yeah, while there's all this other craziness happening simultaneously, these are the main things that I would say focus on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Build muscle, build it with passion, and things will start manifesting very rapidly.
With Jupiter playing a role in here, I could see this as a new teacher coming into your life and giving you a new perspective on something. And as we talked about already, kind of exciting new opportunities and seeing yourself or your life trajectory from a different perspective. Jupiter brings the expansion and growth, and Uranus brings freedom. So kind of combining those two to bring in just new exciting opportunities and experiences. Yeah, I think that's, and then our last slide, which we've covered already, is Venus conjunct Mars, and that's going on for quite a while, from February 6th to March 21st. So all of this week you'll be feeling it, and they're playing a role with Uranus and Jupiter, as we've discussed.
All right, Dulcie. So a week to get your ducks in line and go.
Yeah, do it.
Keep happening. Just do it.
Yeah.
So
like the squirrels.
Yeah.
March to the beat of your own drum.
I love those images. Yes, people, if you like this video, please feel free to share, also subscribe to Astrology Victoria. We are on Instagram, we are on Meetup, we are on Facebook, we are like everywhere you can find us. If you want to keep watching our videos, if this helps you, share the info, and comment as well if you have anything that's happening in your life that aligns with this. Please comment. We love when the community shares a comment, so we can see how this is actually playing out.
We have super fun astro chats online where we just discuss the astrology that's occurring at the moment, and those are not recorded, so those are kind of like more private conversations, so people feel a bit more comfortable to share details from their own lives. But we start with a presentation, we talk about what's happening, and then we open it up to everybody. And then we also have more formal astrology talks, and our next one will be Lori Lothian, I believe is how we say her last name. I've never actually said it out loud.
I hope I'm saying it.
Yeah.
Lori is located in Vancouver, and she will be giving an amazing talk on profections and how to use that in your astrology practice. And again, whether you're a beginner astrologer, it's always fabulous to have these professional astrologers come and give their talks and their knowledge. This is it's a donation based webinar, yeah, kind of thing. So people, you know, just may join and enjoy the content, and then we just want to support the speakers. So that's why we, you know, ask for a donation. But everybody's welcome. And that's how we start also spreading more knowledge, when we all share. So Lori, we will be having her at the end of February, and stay tuned or subscribe to our channel / media, so you know when these talks are happening, and you can be part of it and ask your questions, and it's on Zoom. So yes, awesome. We'll be posting you on that. And with that being said, is there anything else other than woohoo?
That's it. Yeah. Thanks everybody for joining us. Thanks, Tatiana, as always. And we'll
See you next week. I love you. Bye.
Bye.